Next on the line here, we move on to Dark. What do you have for us?
Oh boy, speaking of mangas with better writers, um, I have My Hero Academia Vigilante.
Hey man, technically, Boku no Pico Academia was fine until it fell off the cliff, right?
Yeah,
Until it
which
fell
happened
off the
like
cliff.
very early on, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Dark.
It was fine for
Should I,
one
s-
season.
Dark? Should I start from Fate Zero or should I start from the original Fate?
Oh, I mean, if you're asking me personally, I'm a Fate Zero kind of guy. So
You're wrong.
Near, near.
You're
We should
wrong.
fight him. See, but yeah,
You are
continue.
incorrect.
But yeah, anyways, you're covering the recent My Hero Academia
the recent
product,
release
I guess, series.
is not
Yes.
its source is certainly not recent by any means. That
Yeah. The
Yeah,
adaptation
so
here.
yeah, the manga itself ran from 2016 to 2022, so this is totally done. This is, I guess I'll start with the studio stuff first. This is being done by what is this? Bones Film, which is the like spin-off studio phones that
That
they
they did
made like
recently, I think, probably. Yeah.
Yeah,
Are
yeah,
they
it's
yeah,
West
related
very
to
Side
very
actual
Studio.
recently,
bones?
literally October last year. So
Jesus Christ. Okay.
yeah, and so they did so far they did like Escape Day and now this and yeah. But yeah, so this is a obviously this is a spin-off of My Hero Academia. I guess to get out of the way, this takes place prior to My Hero Academia, like much earlier. Um
Wow, just like Fate
and
Zero.
yeah, so like I know it says like Midoriya is gonna be like a supporting character and stuff listed on Mall. I don't know how, because he would literally be like a basically. Like they have even the fast guy, the dude that runs real fast, like Ida in from My Hero Academia is literally like a 5-year-old or something or 4-year-old in the fucking
They might,
like
who
scene.
knows? Maybe there's like an epilogue or
But
something.
like, are is are you saying there's another fast guy that appears in this series?
Yeah, his older brother,
Yeah, I
who
was gonna
in My
say
Hero
like, isn't their
Academia is like
quirk
crippled.
genetic?
Yeah.
Yeah, their quirks are
Well, his
genetic.
brother has like thrusters on his arms, on his elbows,
Oh hell
and
yeah, he
Ida
can throw
has them on
rocket
his
punches.
legs. Yeah.
Would you rather
So,
have thrusters on your arms or legs?
uh probably arms, to be honest with you, because like I never really understood. They're always like, yeah, he's got like thrusters on his legs, so he goes real fast. So I'm like, all right, so he'll still like die on impact, is what you're telling me.
Would you rather have a rider kick or a rider punch? Is that what's asking?
That's tough. That's tough.
Probably a rider
Depends
kick.
on
Hell yeah,
durability.
rider
Yeah,
kick.
I mean, kick if it's like I'm durable. You know what I mean?
Fair, fair. But don't you
Punch if
know
I'm just
legs are
like a
three times stronger than
normal human.
arms?
Yeah, except for when you're, you know, flying from 12 feet or more in the air. But yeah,
Anyways.
so anyway, yeah, so this series has three mains. It opens up with the main character, Koichi Himawari. He is a college student, and he is not a hero, but he does have a quirk. And his quirk is that he can slide around. He creates like less friction, and he slides around. Um, and he has to have 3 points of contact to do it. And so he can stick and slide to any surface. Um, and yeah, so basically it opens up with him. He encounters a pop up
Wait, he
idol
can
concert.
stick to them?
Yeah, so he can stick. Well, I mean, he can basically stick
It's
to
like
them because he
gecko
can
kind of
he can
thing.
slide. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, okay,
if he
okay.
touches a wall in 3 different spots, he can slide up
Like
it, and it.
skateboarding.
Yeah, he could pretty much
Like
just like stick and slide on
Oh,
shit.
wait. So he has like effectively like omnidirectional movement as long as
Yes.
he. Oh, okay.
Yeah, as long
So
as he has
because
like, as long as he's touching it with at least like his feet and one hand.
when I was watching the PV, it looked like he basically just like turned the ground to ice, and I was like, damn, that sucks.
No,
That
that's
power is
just a
shit.
that's
I thought
just
he
like
was
a
like
visual effect. No.
okay. I thought he had like no like solid control over like the direction that he moved.
No, yeah, he can move in any direction. Yeah.
Okay, that's a bit better. That's a bit more. That's a bit more powerful. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's also established like it's not really established how fast he can go either. It's just kind of like he doesn't go super fast because then he'll die, like if he
Yeah.
crashes. Um, but yeah, so then he like happens upon a pop-up idol concert by the other main, Kazuho Hanayama, who is Pop Step, is a like illegal pop idol like type that's just doing like illegal idol shows, basically just impromptu on the street. Um, and so they wind up getting into a conflict with some thugs, and they get saved by the third and final main, Knuckle Duster, who is a like what do you call it, like bandana, like overhead bandana type
Like
thing,
I'd call him
mask.
old Daredevil style.
Yeah, yeah. So he's got like that over his face. He's an old guy with a scar, like a like stubble, very very deep voice. He is voiced by Yasuhiro Mamiya, and his quirk is nothing. He is effectively quirkless as far as we know right now. And what he does is he punches villains real good with big knuckle duster.
Nice, nice. So he's essentially
And
the Batman of this like kind of venture.
yeah,
I
pretty
wouldn't
much. He
call him
does have a
Batman. Does he have
grappling.
gadgets?
I
Oh,
mean, he
okay.
does kind of have gadgets, just not many. It's just kind of like a grappling hook wire thing, and then
Well, the important thing is
yeah,
he's just like likes to beat up people.
yeah,
Mainly.
and he has the tactic of falling into piles of garbage to not himself
Nice.
from big falls. And yeah, so after he saves them, they wind up becoming like a vigilante, a very thrown together vigilante group. Koichi
Okay.
rebrands himself because he used to just go around in his what is it, All Might hoodie and just clean up trash and just help people in the town. But then he's now
Mm,
rebranded himself as the Crawler, as his
Wow.
nice.
vigilante name. Yeah.
I would have called myself the Grippler, but
Yeah. But yeah, so he so yeah, they wind up just becoming like a ragtag vigilante group. The descriptions for this series are really weird because a lot of the times they keep in most places they keep mentioning like he dons the mantle of a villain to do good, which is not what this series does at all. Um, Vigilantes, like these vigilantes in this series, are very much good guys, right? Like them at least, like they are good guys. There are obviously
Mm,
more
but
There's like a psychotic
vigilanteism is
vigilante
still
who kills.
like illegal, right?
It's illegal, but when they're doing good, the heroes kind of don't care because
Yeah.
like so what basically what's happening a lot is that they run into villains and they're on the scene already and they start taking care of the villains, and then if the heroes show up and encounter them, they're kind of like, we got villains to finish arresting, I guess. Who cares? Like, just let them go. Like,
Yeah.
who gives a shit? They helped us out. And obviously, like, the heroes will still go after any vigilantes that are doing things like, just getting out of line and doing like
Punisher shit.
assaults of or doing like straight up like illegal
So
shit.
is this a is this like a mini arc pace with gradual character development or what's going on here?
Yes and no. So the overall, this is kind of like villain of the week kind of stuff, but there's a broader arc of right now what
Of
they're trying to hunt down is the distribution of a drug called Trigger that people are basically
okay.
juicing up when it makes their quirks way stronger, but it also makes them lose like complete like sense and control. So it just kind of turns people into
Mhm.
villains like impromptu,
Oh,
until they
okay, I
get
see,
their
I see.
asses beat and it wears off. So that's basically what Knuckle Duster
That's
is
like some
hunting
Digimon
down
shit,
primarily.
like
Yeah,
or like some like not Sentai, like Power Ranger Sentai kind of shit, like where it's like you gotta beat like they've been taken over by like a gear or whatever, and it's like you gotta beat them up to to
yeah,
wake them.
yeah. I mean, some people are obviously like there are straight up like people who are villainous who are taking it and are just like, yeah, fuck this. I'm a villain. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
juice up and get stronger. But yeah, so that's kind of like the basic premise right now. Like there is a villain, and it's this girl. I forget her name, but it's a pun for like queen bee, and she has like bees that fly out of a empty socket in her eye that inject people with the shit. Um, so she can make like impromptu villains everywhere, and they're kind of like trying to figure out like why this drug is even being distributed, because they're like
Mhm.
who would want to just wantonly distribute this drug? Like what what could it be testing for? I think it's probably going to tie into like the Nomus from My Hero Academia main, like the weird like hybrid beast things that have quirks or whatever that they ship around. Um, but overall, there's not like huge, large tie-ins to main My Hero Academia right now. Said it was really only that one little part, and there are obviously the main like teachers and stuff from My Hero Academia are in play just because they are like big superheroes, like
Right.
Eraserhead, All Might, what's his name, Enji Todoroki. I forget what the fuck his name is, the fire guy. His name escapes me for some reason. But yeah, so they have all of those that jump in. This is also a series you can jump into without having seen or encountered any of baseline My Hero Academia. Like it very much
Really?
establishes everything from the beginning anyway. Um,
You mean like the like it sets up like a baseline world building real quick
yeah,
in like
yeah,
episode
it
1
does
and
the
then it goes
same.
in,
Yeah, it
yeah.
does the same world explanation that like regular My Hero Academia did with like, oh yeah, all of a sudden people started getting born with quirks, blah blah blah. It introduces All Might. It introduces the other heroes. It kind of establishes the hero license stuff. So there's no required reading at all, which I
It's
thought was
actually
really
kind of
nice.
fascinating because it's yeah, because it's like you also covered again like last time, Musume Cinderella Gray, and the big thing about that is I think more series are doing it recently, like to I guess to younger audiences, it might seem like well, obviously, like this should be an obvious almost like quality of life thing that you should be doing, right? Um, but that wasn't necessarily always the case where studios would be like, yeah, like this is the like we have to make this spin-off series properly separate from the other kind of like the main story so that other kind of more casual people can kind of view it. It used to be just like, oh yeah, it's a spin-off, like you should know this. Just watch it kind of thing. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, even something as recently as like even the third season or now the fourth season, I imagine, of like of Railgun. It's like Index is
Mhm.
technically at least like the first season of Index is required watching or reading
Mhm.
to
Right.
understand some of the shit in that, because otherwise you're just gonna be sitting there and then like some guy is gonna show up that can just cancel powers and you're gonna be like, what, who the fuck is this? And then he's gone in like 2 episodes. And you're just gonna be like, who's that guy?
Mhm.
But not so much, not here. Which I think is great. It's nice to not have to have that, I guess.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so far the character is very likable. Knuckle Dusters are fun. The interactions between him and Pop Step and Koichi have been really fun. And yeah, he's just a really fun character to have as one of the mains. Really good
So
voice
is
acting
this
cast,
do you
obviously.
can I ask just one last thing about the story? Is this do you think this story is going to just I haven't read the manga, but does this story go into some sort of like bigger background climax, or is it just like Does it do you think at least with this anime, do you think it'll just be like, "Oh, there's just one, like, kind of last final mini arc and then it's pretty much over," or, like, what?
I'm not sure. I would assume this might lead into, like, as far as the manga, it might lead into like My Hero Academia stuff. Like I said, this drug might be like the prototype for having those weird like genetically altered guys in like main My Hero Academia.
Right.
I would hope, and at least as of right now, the main stuff's like very street level, which is why I quite enjoy this. Right, like his drug
Mhm.
distribution and its villain, and it's now getting into like one of the crazed vigilantes who kills people.
Mhm.
So like it's getting into very very small scale, like small scale, small stake stuff, which is very very nice.
M'kay.
Um,
Sorry, I interrupted you during your kind of like, your, audiovisual kind of,
yeah,
and
yes. Oh,
I think
yeah.
voice
So I should
acting
say
kind of, yeah.
that. Yeah, yeah. So the voice acting is great. The audio visuals are really nice. Obviously, like it is still Bones at the end of the day. Like,
Yeah.
and so it's
And
what you would
it's
expect.
they have My Hero Academia money, so it's not
Yeah.
like they're gonna they're not skimping, yeah.
Yeah. I guess other thing to note, which is cool, is that the director is Kenichi Suzuki, who's directed like all of JoJo amongst other stuff.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool. Um, I guess the other thing to mention that is not really like audio visuals based is one of the other things that I really like about this series, other than like obviously the street level stuff, is that, and I don't believe that this happens, like the power creep stuff happens either. I'm sure like Koichi might get stronger, like he might figure out a way to not have to have like 3 points of contact to slide or something. Like who knows? But at least as far as like fights have gone, it has been a lot of
Mm,
like team up, like very scrappy, like very sort of strategic uses of their powers for things. Like obviously like pops, like all Pop Step does is like her power is to leap, right? Like she can just
mm.
leap off of stuff. Um,
So
And,
it's
obviously,
less
like,
like
Koichi can
a
slide, and
Eastern
then
kind of like Chinese wushu martial art kind of scene, like the sort of like standard like kind of battle scenes, like lightsaber almost style kind of scenes that we see, that we know from like this is what I would say like classic battle sequences, and it's a little bit more of this like modern Western visual, or not even modern Western. It's like something like um scrap fighting, like, well, I guess more modern, but it's like something like a Jackie Chan or like a Jason Bourne kind of like, oh, I'm gonna use this pencil and try to kill you kind of thing, right?
yeah, somewhat, because it's like, like Koichi, like there's like Koichi using his sliding thing to slide like under, or not under, but like slide into like leg of a villain to do like a takedown for Knuckle Duster to come in. Pop Step using her leap to do like recon. Um, there was one scene where like a guy grows, like a guy's quirk goes out of control and he grows real big, and it's like real big, like like Godzilla, like Ultraman status, like taller than a building type shit. And
Mhm.
it's Knuckle Dust is very much like, yeah, we can't fight this guy, like, but like we gotta basically bait this now and wait for heroes to show up, because what the fuck are we gonna do? And
Right.
that leads to a cool scene where it's like, he's using his grappling hook. Koichi is using his sliding to like bait him, but then like Pop Step gets captured and then thrown. Um, and then Koichi is like, like, oh shit, like she has nothing to jump off of, so like she's just gonna fall to her death. And so what he does is he slides up a building into the air, and then like basically does like a hand boost, like lets her jump off of that. But then he has nothing.
Mhm.
He has nothing, like his fault. But then on the way down, like the big guy tries to smack him out of the air effectively, like, or him. And so he uses that to like stop his momentum for like a second by like, touching his hand with, his hand and 2 feet to stop his momentum, and then basically push off of that to land in a pile of garbage. So it's like it's
Mhm.
a lot of shit like that, where it's like using this one not very particularly great power in just ways that can get them out of situations effectively.
So there is
And
like
just like strategy and
a
setup.
decent amount of focus. Yeah, there's a lot of focus in actually creating these like strategic design and like battle sequences in this series.
Yeah, more or less. Like it's a lot of it's a lot of like, like setup and then take type stuff.
Mm,
Which has
okay.
been fun. Um and yeah, I don't know. It's been a very good time. I very much like the more street level grounded stuff of it. Like
Do
my biggest problem with My
is this
Hero Academia with not doing that
uh,
type of stuff.
oh like actually yeah, instead of and just like giving Dick more powers and shit, yeah. Uh
Yeah, I
but
mean,
is
it'd be
this
like
gonna
if
just
it'd be like a comic book thing, and then it'd be like, I mean, as far as like threat level goes, it kept going like, oh, dude, guess what? Avengers level threat, baby. It's like over and over again. Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Avengers,
And
okay,
you say?
eventually it gets
Which Avengers
normalized.
team? The
the new
Avengers or the new
Avengers.
Avengers?
Oh my
Hell
god.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, is this going to get a second season? I'm just curious.
I wouldn't
What's
be
happening with this?
shocked. I mean, right? Like, why not? They got
Mhm.
Bones. They got Bones filmed
One's
now,
been
and
milking My Hero Academia for quite
yeah,
a while
and this
now, so why
has
Yeah,
not
and
six
if
milk
this
six
the why
years
yeah,
not
if
worth.
milk
this sells,
the
Yeah,
other
why not
one?
milk
yeah.
two?
So
Well, My Hero
yeah.
Academia is
Yeah, yeah,
also
yeah.
like now that the manga's wrapped up, it's like Bones is on a limited time frame now for the main, so may as well spin up another one.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's
Okay.
really anything else to touch on other than that. I
Oh
mean,
yeah. Here, Dark. Have you answered the big question yet?
what?
Who would win in a fight?
What do you mean? Who? Between who?
Main character versus main character.
I mean, it depends. Like, post Deku not having any powers, the Crawler, obviously. Deku with his powers, Deku, because he's just ass pulled McGee.
Yeah,
Is
he
Deku
literally
with his
shoots
Iron
fucking
Man
light
suit.
beams out of his fucking fists, man. Like,
Yeah, Deku with his Iron Man suit at the end, like supposed Iron Man suit coming up, like for whatever bullshit sequel they do.
let's just
Probably
say
that one.
let's just say at the apex of their powers, because I heard Nightcrawler did some pretty cool stuff in Boku no My Hero Academia while he was not in
Nightcrawler.
Japan.
And
He's in the actual manga, is what I'm
Oh, the
saying, but
Crawler's in the manga.
yeah, he is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I mean that's the thing too. Again, like I said, like I feel like a
You know
lot
what?
of My Hero Academia was very little, like was just kind of like brute forcing shit, whereas like a lot of this is, like I said, almost like heist style type setup and execution with a lot of stuff.
What
mm,
let's go what saga would the Vigilantes survive up to versus My Hero Academia is what I'm asking.
What do you mean? Like, what would they survive up to in
Yeah.
like
Oh
My
no,
Hero Academia? Like,
from beginning to end. Like people say Gojo can take on Namek Goku, and people are like, I'm like, hell no,
oh,
hell
I mean,
no.
these guys would lose like right away. Like, if I could, like, again, like
Could
Buster literally does not have any powers. Like, he just punches
like
people.
could they fight the Nomus? I guess is what.
mm,
I mean, it's possible, but they would get their asses kicked. Like, they might be able to do like one of the
um,
early Nomus, which is why again why I think like some of this shit is like kind of like prototype is gonna turn into be like the proto Nomu stuff.
mhm.
But yeah,
Anyways,
they
I
are
don't want
not
to go into
particularly
power
powerful.
rankings. Yeah,
But
I don't
I
want to go
do.
too much into. All right,
no.
let's stop with the power ranking stuff. Anyways, any I guess any last words slash mal ratings?
um, I mean, yeah, yeah, I guess like OPED, the OP and ED are fine. Like
Oh
they're
yeah, I forgot
it's not
the
nothing
OPED stuff.
crazy.
Are
Like
they on
it's
the same level as like the actual? People are saying it's better than the actual anime. The other anime.
what do
Oh,
you
the
mean
main one.
OPED wise?
Are they better than the actual Boku no My Hero Academia
The
openings and endings?
OPs? you gotta be smoking crack if you think that. I haven't seen the recent ones, but it's like, what was the fucking like one of the most famous My Hero Academia OPs again? Fuck was that song?
I don't know. Just
It was
fucking
like
boring
season
though.
fours or some shit. But it's like in general, it's like, yeah, you're not beating Lisa and shit like that like very soon. Like
Yeah,
you're not
once you
topping that.
pass a certain
Like
amount of
visually,
like artist
the
quality.
OP is pretty nice. Like visually and stylistically, it's like kind of fun, but it's not. I don't know. Like song wise and stuff, it's nothing super duper crazy. It's fun, but I don't know. I feel like there were some real pop offs with the earlier My Hero Academia OPs and EDs.
Mhm.
And then yeah, I guess like my mall rating. I mean, mall's rating right now is pretty solid. I would say I would give it like a 7.5, 7.5, maybe an 8, depending on where it goes.
Mhm.
It's not the greatest series ever, but visually it's really nice. It is fun, and it's fun to at least get some level like you know hero stuff where they're like doing hero shit.
Mhm.
Imagine that the comic inspired hero series where heroes are doing hero shit instead of fighting fucking
Just jerking off of their power levels.
yeah, like gaining new powers every 3 seconds and like fighting the world over and over again.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, it's kind of like right now, it's kind of like the strongest aspects of that were there in regular My Hero Academia that like kind of fell apart because it's like you know a shame, but maybe one day, maybe one day we'll get a My Hero Academia spinoff where it's about like, heroes going to like hero school and then doing street level hero stuff after. Wouldn't that be crazy? Wouldn't that be really interesting to see
But here's the real
Yeah.
question.
instead of not even making it through hero school and then needing to save the world 87 times over?
But could the crawler beat the wall crawler?
All right. Well,
Oh, absolutely not. No, no. I'd heard people talking about that like a while back.
What Spider-Man?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like no, that's not happening.
No, dude.
Spider-Man would
But he's
shoot like
based
three
off of
webs at him.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, but
yeah,
Spider-Man
Spider-Man
could
has a
shoot
shit
webs.
ton of power.
Like, what are you talking
Yeah.
And
about?
he also has like
Spider-Man can
crap ton of
also
other
lift
like types of
buildings.
experience.
Like,
Yeah, he's like
Yeah,
super
he's
strong. Oh,
But
dude.
extremely
don't
strong.
but you just said street level. Spider-Man is also street level.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
and
He would
Spider-Man's
fucking
like
own
street
that.
level encounters are like fighting like
The thing is,
the
yeah, fighting
Scorpion
like
and the
Thanos. Yeah,
Rhino. Like,
yeah. Also, Spider-Man is on the streets in the same way as like the main guy from Prototype was on the streets.
yeah,
It's like he's like on the roads, but he's like also messing with people essentially, like toying with people. So,
yeah. Like
anyways,
if you're like a
Yeah, I
street
mean
level thug and you come
Spider-Man
across Spider-Man, like you're done. Like you just give up.
yeah.
So it's over.
basically everyone they've fought so far in this series may as well be like the Shocker, right? Like
Yeah.
that may as well be what's going on here. If not like slightly less than the Shocker, right? And so I think Spider-Man would make quick work.
Mhm. Anyways, thank you very much, Dark. I guess that was that for My Hero Academia Vigilantes. And this is, I believe, a manga original, right? A manga original.
Yes. The manga original
Yeah.
from a different
So
writer.
yes. And I'm glad to see that it kind of panned out pretty decently and helps kind of put, I want to say, the legacy in a sense of My Hero Academia in a positive light. A lot of spin-offs have been doing that recently. I want to say recently, but even as far back as something like um I want to say like Magi, Sinbad, right? The Adventures of Sinbad and stuff like that. A lot of these like manga spin-offs have really been doing pretty good work. But yeah, thankfully, I'm glad to see that Vigilante is also holding up pretty well. But again, if you want to check it out, please again do so. And then maybe read the manga as well. It's done by Bone Films, again, adapted by Bone Films, spin-off themselves from the original Bone studio.